Okay, I like that. Now, the mindset that we're going to be doing, that we're going to be looking at here, comes first always when I do the readings like this. I do offer these readings on my Instago page, so typically I read this side as you, Gemini, and the other person as your soulmate. But you guys feel free to pick the side that resonates with you the most, since this is a reading for you too. Now, you guys have here in your mindset, if this is you or the other person, the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords talks about taking a moment of reflection, taking a moment to look at a situation from a different, not necessarily from a different perspective, but really to kind of heal from a situation, rejuvenate your energies. This is a very peaceful kind of card. It's a healing energy, and the star being in your spirit, like we all know that the reason why you have all this, energy here with the, looking, think about things with the Four of Swords, is because you're healing, you are reestablishing hope. Hope is resurfacing in your life and making a huge impact. Now, the other person here has got the King of Pentacles, so their mindset is very much focused on the practical aspects of their life, very focused on, being the person that takes care of their families, takes care of their loved ones. The King of Pentacles here does indicate that this person is also very stable and they're ready to settle down. I think this person is also very, they have their own way of handling things. They're very confident in themselves as far as maintaining a home and maintaining a household. And it's interesting that the two of you came together via family, perhaps, or maybe family introduced you together, or some sort of celebration of some sort. A gathering where, of like-minded individuals or people that enjoy a certain thing, a certain craft, perhaps. It could have been like a situation where something ended and something, cycle ended, some sort of emotional cycle, and it brought you two together, right? Because you guys are both maybe connecting and, reestablishing, a new beginning to get, on your own terms, right? The Ace of Cups is not about a new relationship. It talks about a new beginning, a new relationship with yourself. Mostly, it's not like a new relationship with another person. It's more of a new relationship with yourself, loving yourself, healing yourself, and really connecting with who you are. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's going on in regards to starting a new love relationship, not just with the other person, but with yourself. And I think this person feels like they're ready to settle down. They think their mindset is all about the long-term goals rather than the short-term, and they're looking to settle down. Now, what's interesting, though, about this whole situation is that this person presents themselves as the Seven of Swords. Now, I don't know if this is indicating that this person, is presenting themselves as someone that's, sneaky or not being trustworthy. I feel like it's more of like I think the reason why they think long term I think the reason why they show the Seven of Swords is because they think long term. Now, what does that mean? I think it means here, when it comes to this reading, this person's avoiding situations because that means that they have to conform, or that means something serious to them. At the same time, it could indicate that there's already somebody that's committed to a relationship already. How you guys met was, at some sort of gathering, or maybe where there's family involved. Maybe this individual has family of their own. And, they are showing themselves as being, sneaky, or doing something, underhanded, or maybe something that, that's suspicious, but they're not really. But maybe you already know about what's suspicious, what's going on in their lives. At the same time, if that's not the case, because I know some of you guys, that may not resonate with a lot of you guys, the Seven of Swords can indicate that someone is taking a risk as well, right? You've heard this several times, perhaps by other readers, but the Seven of Swords can indicate someone is a risk taker, or taking really big risks in their life. And if someone has the mindset of getting to a long-term connection and stabilizing and being more grounded, it's interesting that they have this, they act as if they're like literally flying by the seat of their pants, if that makes sense. Right? So they're just like taking risks left and right. And I think it's all because they feel like at the end of the day, everything will kind of come out and be worth the effort. Now, how you're being presented, or the other person, depending on how you guys read this, watch this reading or resonate with the sides here, you have the Two of Wands being the present. So you guys are in the present, currently trying to figure out where you guys are going to go, where you guys are going to end up. Not end up, but like how you guys are going to proceed moving forward with either this relationship with yourself, how you're going to grow, and really more of just like what steps you're going to be taking next. Because I think right now, I think where you've been has of course stopped, like we were talking about before. What brought you two together could have been there was an emotional ending that you both faced separately, or maybe there was some emotional ending that you faced together, but nothing that really involved like a breakup or anything like that. Or it could have been a breakup that you guys both brought you both together. But the situation is that you guys are trying to look for new paths, new different, a different direction. You're looking in a totally different area right now. Like you're no longer able to go down that road that you were on. The Ten of Swords is definitely talking about the end of that road, right? Tens are endings of cycles, okay? But it doesn't mean that this not the it's the end all be all. But because we have the Ace of Cups as the underlying energy, there's a new beginning. So you guys are honestly looking at different paths to take. Kind of making a decision about how you want to go about your life, how you want to go about living your life. And I feel like for you guys here, this is what you guys are doing at this moment, and this is how your person is seeing you, or this how your soulmate is seeing you right now. Just someone that's trying to make a decision about where you guys are going to go next. And the reason why you guys are like at this crossroads at this moment, trying to make a decision about how you're going to move forward, as well as, your mindset about this relationship is being at peace and relaxing and having a moment of zen and peace. Like, you guys are just kind of, when you think about this relationship, you're at peace. Some of you guys may be, maybe have taken some time away to reflect, to think things through, to really, maybe you guys are going through some period where you have to, you feel like you have to reevaluate, or maybe you're taking a break from this relationship at this moment because you have to figure out what you want. And I feel like it's because, the star, right? Gaining new aspirations, new ideas, and truly, truly building up new hope, right? Some of you guys may be taking the time away as well because you guys are healing. The Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups, the Star, the Four of Swords. Those three cards do indicate to me that there is a healing element to this. I think you guys are healing from whatever ended here, or maybe whatever this energy is for you guys, whether that's family, whether it is ending a situation, and emotionally in a situation, putting, something coming to a close. But it's not necessarily a bad ending. It's a beautiful ending, but they have a lot of emotional attachments to it. It has not emotional attachments, a lot of emotional, history, if that makes sense. There's a huge emotional history to this, and moving forward is the hard part. The challenge here is the Knight of Cups, right? Is making that move forward, taking that, taking that cup and going down the direction that resonates with how you feel, right? Because the cup represents emotions. Cups hold water. Water is emotions, etc. So how you feel will definitely help you decide where you're going to go, what risk you're going to be taking if this is you. And I feel like you guys are committed, but taking risks because you are in a stable place, if this is you guys, or if this is the other person. Now that again, when I said all that stuff before, I do kind of believe, this could be for some people out there, but I really feel like that the ultimate message for this individual is not that this person's sneaky or doing something underhanded, but they're taking risks, they're stepping outside of their comfort zone, they're not doing the things that they would prefer to do, which would be a little bit slower, be more steady. And I think they still have that mindset of let's take it slow, but they're still moving very fast, even though they may not really want to. And it's because there's things that they're not recognizing, that there's beautiful things other than the way that they're used to. So I feel like with the Four of Cups rather coming up in this reading for this individual, it's totally different than the usual meaning I would give it, which was, of course, somebody's focusing on the cups that they've already experienced, and they're not, because they're so focused on trying to figure out what to do about what they already know, they aren't recognizing the other things that are, that are trying to start up in their life or being presented to them that they don't even realize because they're so focused on what they don't have, or what they have, or what they've already experienced. They're trying to figure out ways to move forward with the things that they've already gone through. And I feel like this is the situation here. This person, instead of this kind of the basic meaning for the Four of Cups, is really like, they're assessing what they've gone through, and they're really taking the moves necessary to find their happiness. I feel like the reason why this person has the Seven of Swords in their as who they are, being risky, maybe doing something that's out of the side of their comfort zone, and they have this mentality of doing things traditionally, doing things in a certain way, having a certain structure, being very analytical and detail oriented, is because they may have left a situation where they were familiar with, and that is hard for them to find a new way to kind of flip the switch, if that makes sense, to find different different ways of starting something new. Maybe they have they're going through the way that they know because they are secure in that understanding of that process, if that makes sense. They've been through this enough before. It showed them the success that they were looking for. But I feel like this, because they're looking at the old way of handling things, they're not aware of the new stuff that's coming in. Not that they're rejecting it, because I don't think this is a rejection here. I don't think they're rejecting anything. I think this person is not really seeing that there is a new way of going about creating something new with someone that they hadn't considered, only because they're looking at the old-fashioned way. Now, the Knight of Cups is that somebody's coming in with a cup of love, and again, you would think, okay, well, how is that not rejection? This person could be trying to get away, or trying to, avoid situations, avoid stuff, avoid, and they're, it's because someone brought them a cup, and they don't know if they want to take it because they don't know if it's going to end up like the last three, and that's part of, that's another thing, right? Too, to add to this reading, it's like I think this person is taking a risk, but they're also their mindset, the way they're doing things is like they're taking this risk because they want this relationship, right? This is something that they do desire, right? But at the same time, because they're looking to commit and they're so dedicated to this relationship, I don't think, and because you guys met at a point where you guys have ended relationships or ended something that had emotional history to it, it can make sense that this person doesn't want to go through the things that they've gone through again. So they're going through, so they're paying attention to all this stuff and not seeing that there is a new romance, there's a new love that's in the mix of all of these things, and that it doesn't have to be like these old ways, because if they just follow their heart, like the Knight of Cups is asking you guys to do, that's not really a challenge, this person wouldn't be all stopped up. This person wouldn't feel like, okay, I gotta make sure, I gotta do this the old-fashioned way, right? Or I have to take a risk and I don't really want to take it. They feel like they have to do things that are differently when the only thing they have to do is just follow their heart. It'll be a lot easier for them to be able to establish a relationship if they just trust themselves, so they trust their heart. It's hard for this individual, right? It's really hard, especially when this is a fixed sign. A fixed energy. It doesn't have to be that this person is a fixed sign, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or Scorpio. It doesn't have to be that this person is that. It can be. It's significant if it is. It's just that they have a strong structure in their mind, and they want to make sure that they get to the to the place that they want to get to. Now, I like this card for this, the honey, milk and honey. As I was speaking, this is what I was talking about. This person has a taste of prosperity. They know what they want. I think both parties know what they want. Even though this person may be kind of taking a moment to really reflect and think about it, the star is the reason why this person is thinks about this relationship and has is at a pause. It's not moving right now. It's not a resting period. But also this person's making a decision about where they want to go, not what they want to do. Because they already know what they want to do. They know where they're going. The star is indicating that. It's just the healing aspect of it that's coming. I think this relationship is healing for this person, and it's allowing this person to create a space for themselves to go down the path that they want to go. And that is the taste of prosperity that this milk and honey card usually emphasizes. Okay, it usually talks about. Right? So, I really like this card here for you guys. Sorry about the glare of my camera. But this is it, right? The reason why you guys are going in the pace that you're going and having all these, these beautiful cards coming up. Even though the Seven of Swords looks a little suspicious, I don't think this person's trying to be sneaky. I think this person is doing everything that they can because they are committed and they're willing to make the sacrifices. And the only thing that matters, the only thing that's real is love. So I feel like you guys have had the happiness that you were looking for, the Ten of Cups. You know, you guys are happy with each other, and that may not be that there was an emotional ending that occurred, or there was something that climaxed, or there was, you guys met at a gathering. You guys could have, but you guys are also happy with each other. You guys are romantically, I think you guys are really happy with one another. You guys both share in a lot of values, a lot of, in an emotional sense, or a sense of connection. And I think moving forward is the part that is what's influencing you guys to take the leap of faith, to take a lot of these risks, figure out where you're going to go, have aspirations, and a spark of new faith, right? A new beginning is coming in, and it's an emotional journey, yes, but I feel like it's because there's something also progressing between the both of you. Okay, this taste of prosperity exists only because you've experienced that within yourselves and perhaps with each other. And I think that's why the focus should be back to love, because as long as you continue to, to love on one another, the progress that you guys make together will always make sense, right? It will always make sense of why you do X, Y, and Z, why you're going through X, Y, and Z, because the love that you both share is so powerful that it's influenced a journey that both of you guys are taking together and separately for your own spiritual growth. Okay,